Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone, and happy Sunday. Welcome to summer camp. I cannot believe we only have a few sessions left, and people have already asked, are we doing this again next year? Absolutely. It has been fantastic. So many people have been shifted. I love all the personal messages that I've gotten about all your ahas. And, I want to say that when you hear these amazing speakers, like, number one, know that these women are pillars in our company. Like, I didn't just select anyone. I asked people who, are trip directors or $1 million directors or people who really have made a significant impact in my life personally. I learned from each of these women. And so I just want to make sure that, I was always taught in Mary Kay that the best way that you can say thank you to someone is to put it in action. Like, you're going to hear Tracy speak tonight, and Tracy's become a good friend of mine. And, Tracy's going to tell you all these amazing things and teach you these amazing things. But the worst thing that you can do, honestly, is send her a message tonight and be like, oh my gosh, you were so wonderful, blah, blah, blah. The best thing you can do is that 6 months from now, when we're at leadership, you run up to her and find her and say, 6 months ago, Tracy, I wasn't a sales director. And because of your conversation that we had, you were speaking to me and I became a sales director. I am telling you that when I have people do that to me versus just, I hate to call it lip service, and I'm not saying don't say thank you to someone, but it's so much more powerful to have someone a month or two down the road say, oh my gosh, what you said inspired me so much. Here I am today. And so I want you to keep that in mind. So as we get off this hangout tonight, I want you to be thinking, what are the action steps that I need to take to put into action what Tracy was talking about tonight? Okay, so speaking of, my good friend Tracy is on, and I'm going to read her accolades to you. Tracy Chavez began her Mary Kay career in October of 1993. She became a sales director in November of 1996. She has been married to her husband Art for 31 years, and they have 4 children from 27 to 21 years old and 3 adorable grandkids. The most important areas of her life are her faith and her family. Tracy has earned the use of 13 Mary Kay career cars, including 11 pink Cadillacs. She's led her unit 22 times to the prestigious Circle of Achievement and Circle of Excellence. She's earned 3 4-carat diamond rings and $45,000 in cash in lieu of additional diamonds. So just in case if you didn't know, when you earn a diamond ring from Mary Kay, they give you the option to take cash compensation instead. Tracy's highest unit accomplishment is reaching the $850,000 Circle of Excellence. And because of her team's excellence, she and her husband Art have been on all expense-paid trips to a Greek island cruise twice, Spain, the Canary Islands, Rome, and Hawaii. The Chavez unit also has the honor of being the #1 unit in the state of Arizona 4 times. Tracy and her team have also been in the top 10 in their seminar 2 times, with the highest being number 6. She's building a national area and will debut as a senior national sales director with her lifelong friend Tammy Vavala as an offspring national. Her highest check in 1 month is over $20,000. Please welcome my friend from the great state of Arizona, Tracy Chavez. Yay, Tracy! And a virtual welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with everybody tonight. And I really am just feeling like Leah and I are having a conversation. And I was thinking, first of all, just of how amazing, Leah, that you have done this program and that you are always such a woman of excellence, like your bar. I love being around people that their bar is so much higher than mine. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, it constantly makes me raise. I joined Mary Kay when I was 25 years old, and I guess you can do the math if you're not a wizard. 25 and 25 this is my 50th year alive. But I will tell you, Leah, from my heart, Mary Kay Ash, and I know I've written this to you privately, but Mary Kay Ash would be so blessed to know that you really are at the top of our company, leading the company the way that I know that she did. And that is so huge. Number one, because it speaks of your character and your love for this company, but your ability to honor her legacy. And I just think it's absolutely amazing. And the amount of years you still have left to serve means that you have the opportunity to duplicate yourself over and over and over. And for somebody who wants to make sure that this company is secure, not only for myself, my daughters and my granddaughters, and let's just say my great-granddaughters, to know that there are people like you who came into Mary Kay and caught the vision and understood the culture and what made us different, and that you've held fast to that is such a blessing for me. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to share with you just really quickly, just my stance in life. Like I will share with you my quick story, but I really want to get into content tonight. But my stance in life is that I believe I'm an ambassador of hope. And every single day, I look at ways to make sure that my hope tank is being filled, because if I'm hopeless, or even if I'm not as hopeful as I should, I cannot give to other people that which I do not possess. And I think that the greatest commodity on planet Earth is hopefulness and having hope. And so everything that I do is about that. So when I started looking at what I wanted to share tonight, I really wrote out my mission statement for the call. I'm like, what is my mission? My mission statement for this call is that if you are in motion, that you increase your motion. And if you're not in motion, that you get in motion. Because the best dreams on the planet will fall at the wayside every single time if you don't move. So we're going to talk about building hope. We're going to talk about building encouragement. We're going to be talking about doing those things day in and day out that will make a difference today, but will change your destiny. There are decisions that change destiny. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we go on. So just real quickly, I came into Mary Kay 25 years ago with no hopes or dreams that anything would ever come out of my Mary Kay business. I honestly thought what a lot of people thought, it was little pink jars and great big pink cars, and that people that did Mary Kay, nothing else in life worked out. I went into the nursing profession. I got my degree here at the University of Arizona and graduated top of my class and was ready to be a nurse. I can't see myself really loving and enjoying. And there's a brilliant place to be in life when you realize that even after I had invested 6 years of my life in college, and the amount of internal fortitude it took, I wasn't going to do the thing that I had studied, trained, and paid for, because I did not feel that that would bring the sense of joy that I wanted in my life. And after being so devastated I needed to make sure that the days that I had left were as good as they could be. That's the bottom line. And so I came into Mary Kay during that very dark time. I was in this car accident. We lost my daughter. I was critically injured. I joined a grief support group, and it was in that grief support group where I heard about the Mary Kay opportunity. And I really wanted to be a part of it, not because our marketing plan rocks, not because I saw the family security plan down the line, not that I thought I would ever drive a pink Cadillac. I was kind of embarrassed for my director because she drove one. I was like, do your kids duck when they see their friends? Like, how bad is that? Like, I really was not buying any of that. But I saw the culture. I saw the women. I saw the sisterhood. I saw the level of power in those women. They were women that honored their husbands. I loved how they parented their children, and they had hopes and dreams and goals. And I was like, this is culture shock. So I joined Mary Kay just to change my circle of influence. I was around a lot of nurses and a lot of cops. And so these Mary Kay people seemed a little hyper excitable, but I was also like, I needed a little hyper excitement. I was dying there. And so I joined this opportunity really not to gain anything out of it other than maybe I would have a fresh perspective on life. Well, fast forward a couple of years, we were in that critical point. And so I want to tell you, when Art and I have a life that I was thinking the other morning when I was making my cup of coffee, if I could go back and change anything with raising my kids or any of those things, there's very, very few things that I would ever change. My kids have become incredible human beings because of the Lord and because we were hands-on parents, and I was able to do that. And so I will tell you that I think that my life, the way that I would have written it out, would have never looked like it did. But I can also tell you I would have never put a chapter in my book that looks like Mary Kay. Never, ever would have. And so I got into Mary Kay, and then Mary Kay got into me. And this is a company that forever changed my life. And here's what I think, that when you change one woman's life, you're responsible for a generation. And my goal is to continue to grow my leadership so that I can not only change a generation, but multiple generations. And as we step in and finish our own national area this year, that will be wave on wave to multiple people's generation. that's where I want to invest my time and my energy. So how does this all come about? How do you go from making a decision that, it was a bad decision to be a nurse, but then finish it out and then completely change shifts and do Mary Kay? So here's the thing. I didn't know anything about makeup at all. I was a tomboy. My offspring, who's the national Tammy Babla, was also a tomboy. I was the first baseman and she was the second baseman, and that's how we did life. So I thought, I don't have any cosmetic background. I've never sold anything before in my entire life. I really couldn't even sell Girl Scout cookies. And I didn't have any business sense to save my life. But here's what I did have. And I believe that this is the most important thing. I had a willingness. I was teachable and trainable. I am the most coachable person on the planet. And I watch people who can move up the career path and do it with such solid. You're doing something so different. You have to have a heart of humility and a coachable spirit to be able to take yourself to the next level and to be really teachable and trainable. So I want to ask you guys a question. So I'm assuming that, and this is assuming, I could be wrong, that some of you are re-entering from seminar right now, that you've just had an incredible experience at seminar and you're in the re-entry. So I'm going to ask you a couple of straight up questions, because what you do now and the next 2 weeks are really going to determine where you are next June 30th. Because I am going to have a different outcome. So number one question, what have you listened to since you've gotten home? What have you listened to, or what have you read? And are you listening every single day? And so I will just tell you, I record everything. It's so funny. My people were like messaging me, can you send me this speech and that speech and this speech and that speech? And I'm like, Cindy Williams told me, record everything. If you don't like it, record over it. But the last thing you want to do is to hear an incredible speech or an incredible class, and you are going to not be able to write everything down. I believe that events change outcome. That's why retreat is so important. I know retreats nationwide are coming up. You've got to commit today that you're going to your local retreat. Retreats change your outcome. So first thing, what have you listened to? So I've re-listened to all the speeches in all my classes so many times, I'm almost mouthing them at this point. And I'm just constantly infusing my brain with that information, and it's every single day. If a day goes by, and I've done it my whole career, I've had times in my life where I didn't do it. I just got out of the habit. And I'm telling you, not only can you see it in the scoreboard, but you can see it in my countenance, in my belief. And belief is everything. Belief and confidence. And I gained that by listening to somebody else who's gone before me. So what have you listened to, and then how many times? And if you don't have that information, my goodness, those speeches are all flying on Vox, so your director can get them. And I got the speeches from all the seminars, and I've been listening to them on the treadmill, and I walk faster, which is really good. Next question is, since you've returned from seminar, how's your date book look? How does your date book look? A direct correlation in the world of expectation. Oh, wait. Hold on. I messed up. How many bookings do I have? This is the direct reflection of the depth of my decision. How many bookings I have on my books is the direct reflection of the depth of my decision. Because we can all make a decision. We can all go to seminar and go, aha, I got what I needed. But if you don't come home and implement it, and there's no shortcuts, you guys. I've been around a long time, and I've had seasons where I've been very much in the field, and I've had seasons where it was crickets on my date books. I'm not standing in judgment. I'm just saying you can fix that with a decision. You can go from no bookings to 10. If your child's life depended on it, you would have 10 bookings tonight. But you know what? The truth is, in the long run, who your children turn out to be and the amount of time you get to spend with your grandchildren does reflect on what you have on your books. Those are big, huge decisions. The difference between a decision, there's a difference between a decision and a decision with action. That's why your bookings are so, so important. I'm going to take a little break from that and just tell you guys that I know I love working with Leah because it's her age group I'm most fascinated with. And it's the age group, the generation just below her, that I'm most passionate about coaching. Because here's the equation that I think in my mind. So as women, we are reach up right? So we're getting led by somebody. Somebody is pouring into us, and at the same time, home from the hospital in pink Cadillacs. They've known nothing but a pink Cadillac life. And how do you build like that and run a life like this and run at that high level and have the family responsibility? Well, I know you guys have Leah as an example, but I'm just going to say, you know, we say it in the Williams National area, you're not normal. But I've heard that the etiquette way to say that is uncommon. So you're not normal, Leah. And when I was looking at that, I really was looking for that example of somebody that could run a high-level business with integrity, that could pour into people and raise amazing human beings at the same time. And I will tell you that this is the one thing that I repeated to myself over and over and over, and that was make your children your reason and not your excuse. When you make your children the reason and not the excuse, everything changes. And my children became my reward. And I'll just show you my here. For me to carve out 8 hours, so 4 on Tuesday and 4 on Thursday, 8 hours a week for me to be with Miss Kenley. I will be on purpose all the rest of the time. That's why I'm working today. I haven't worked Sundays in years, but I'm packed on Sundays now. Why? If we get so caught up in the instant satisfaction, if we become an ATM, going to an ATM machine for results, well, I did a face, I should have a pink Cadillac, right? Or I did, even if you did, you power started for an entire year, and the goal that you had set for that year doesn't come true at the end of the year. Do you go, it doesn't work? Or are you willing to continue to do what you know you need to do while you get coaching, while you continue to work on yourself? You have to be working on yourself. You need to be coaching. You need to be in the field, all of those things together. And you have to be willing to do it as long as it takes. I know my national sales director, Cindy Williams, and she always says, do whatever it takes. And I always say, for as long as it takes. See, our God lives outside of time. And we don't know his plan. But I know what he's called me to do. And I go after it every single day. And while I'm doing that, I can have the peace and assurance to know I am never from the forefront of his mind, and neither are you. But it's where we get into the danger zone, when we want something so quickly that we forget that there is a price to pay for success and long-standing, repeatable, transferable success. With that said, bookings are going to be your essential portion. And keeping your family, it's God first, family second, career third, right? Well, there was a lot of times that looked different to me in my different years. And I will just like hats off to y'all that have small kids, like babies. Like, I think they're so cute. I have grandkids that are babies, and it's not my thing. I love them. It's not my thing. But when my humans were able to communicate and talk with me, I was all about it. That's when they became my reward. What is something in your life that you enjoy to do that it would do you well to have delayed gratification? Delayed gratification is something that we have lost a little bit by being able to touch our phones and see everything instantly. Delay yourself for a minute. I believe that delayed response will build such integrity. And you know what it does? It builds fortitude and determination. Because then you can say the statement, I know that I know that I know that I am called to Mary Kay. See, when you set yourself up to always have to have a win, or to always be on the top, or to always have things go in your timing, or to have things quick, instant gratification, I hope. So you guys know that I controlled them to their highest level. I controlled my attitude and my effort. Every day, that was in my direct control. I could decide, what is my attitude when I step onto the field? And then I could decide, what effort am I going to give today? So I want to ask you guys, because I think that that is so incredibly huge. There's so much in Mary Kay that's the uncontrollable. I just did a skincare class earlier today with a couple of precious people. And when I got to the end of the party, I was looking at one of the girls there, and I just looked at her at our individual clothes, and I said, have you ever thought about doing something like what I do? And she kind of looked at me and she goes, I wasn't before, but now for the amount of time that I have, you're somebody that I would like to invest my time and my energy and to mentor you. If this is something that you're even willing to get a cup of coffee and to talk with me. And one of the things that I had brought full circle is she has a job where she's giving a lot of effort, but there's no return. And really, in looking back, it doesn't look like there's an opportunity for an increased return. So you guys, we don't have that in Mary Kay. We know if we bring our attitude at the highest level and we bring our effort, which is another word for our work ethic, that means we show up when we don't want to. And we show up, guys, it's so important. You know, okay, this is what we say, hey, when you go to seminar, nobody remembers the dress that you're wearing because nobody's paying any attention to you, right? Them, there are things people are watching, and every single day your integrity is being built and your character is being revealed. And so you control those two things. You can control your attitude. And I believe your attitude is directly related, in my opinion, by the way, this is all my opinion. In my opinion, your attitude is directly related to your relationship with the Lord and what you are pouring into your brain and who you're surrounding yourself with. That increases your belief and changes your outcome. And your effort, your work ethic. You guys, this is a job that rewards the highly motivated. Being able to privately educate all of my children and the choices and the human beings that they've become. Much work with the women that he was coaching at that high of a level to increase their expectation, to set the bar for the world of Mary Kay. That women play Mary Kay based on how we feel. So how important is it to you that you're doing something every day to build your hope for yourself, which then turns into the hope for other people? In that retreat, and I positioned myself. So what is it that you need? Stop waiting for somebody to hand it to you. I guess that's my little preachy side. Like, we're waiting for it to happen for us. You got to figure out what you need, and then you've got to go chase it down. We have the most brilliant leaders on planet Earth in Mary Kay. You can tap into, listen to messages, get what you need by putting yourself into a position to receive it. So I went and did that. And one of the conversations I had with Pam, I saw her at Leah's retreat, and then I saw her, thank you, Amanda. I saw her at January Jumpstart, and then I saw her again at the Inner Circle weekend. And the third time that she taught the same class, I was like, wow, she's brilliant. She just keeps teaching the same class. But every time she taught it, I got something different. The third time she taught the class, I was like, I finally just piped up and I said, you know what, honestly, you're the most disciplined person I have ever met. And she turned around. I think Amanda was actually in that room when I said that. She turned around and she looked at me and she said, yeah. And this is what she said. I wrote it down. She said, no, Tracy, I'm not the most disciplined person you've ever met. I'm the person with the most, but my
handed to you. You know, I was watching you hold up that bullseye, and before you said to Google it, I thought, how many people are going to hound her for a simple Googleable, that's a word, Googleable clip art that's going to be on a piece of paper. Googleable clip art that's going to be on a piece of paper. And I'm so glad that you said that. That builds confidence. I love that you talked about success is found in your predetermined daily habits and how you gave that example of Pam about her discipline not being in her top 10 strengths. That's something that I did not know, because I would have said the exact same thing, that she is the most. So that was crazy. Okay, I would love really quickly to do books like that really shifted you.